So just rip it off and basically be naked under the jumpsuit thing.
All right, ladies, slide into Giles's DMs real quick.
Welcome to the Nasty Labs podcast, legally the best podcast. We're part of the Tokyo Beat Network, and we're the podcast from game studio Chuhai Labs, where we talk about games, game dev, Japan, and whatever else comes up. As always, we're your hosts, Kinsey and Mark. So open yourself up with Chuhai, and let's go!
Giles Goddard, say let's go for us real quick.
Let's go.
No, like you mean it.
Let's go.
Kinsey, how are you? Fuck Giles for a second. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I just tried, the Sakura thing from Starbucks. It was fine. Yay!
Yay!
No, cool story.
We got a pretty interesting show. We got a great guest today. Our CEO, current CEO, Giles Goddard. How are you today?
Pretty good, thanks. I just didn't have the Sakura thing from Starbucks, so I'm not that hyped.
Nice, but what listeners don't know is that you don't like working and you love being a handyman.
I do. I like hammering.
Yeah. So today he's like, I
who
give him
doesn't?
tasks, and he's like, of course I will hammer that. Like the most mundane bullshit, and you were just having the greatest time.
Laying turf and hammering is two of my favorite things.
Yeah, good. Congratulations, Kinsey. This is a special episode this week.
This is a very special episode. We are celebrating the 30th anniversary of Star Fox. So obviously, we had to have on Giles.
Can you do the good luck voice?
Good luck? Is that what he says?
He really.
I can't remember what he says.
It's like good luck.
Oh, good luck.
Oh, that was shit.
What is Sleepy does a thing, doesn't he? He goes. Or something.
No, they all go like.
It's like the original Animal Crossing voices.
Yeah, it's great. So 30 years of the thing that made you who you are. It was it's the most important thing in your life. You've had 5 kids, but they ain't shit, dude.
It's Star Fox.
Is that
It
weird?
is definitely Star Fox. Yeah.
Is that weird that
people say that to me?
like that your kids don't matter and like your true legacy is
It's weird that people think that. I mean, I've done other things than Star Fox.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is bullshit. No. No. I mean, but like it must be are there millions of people that love Star
There
Fox?
are probably, aren't there?
Mhm.
More than bought the game. Weirdly enough.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, more people probably love the game than have ever played.
They actually
the game.
played it or bought the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty fucking dope.
And we have a great episode lined up for you guys. As always, we'll be diving into the weekly topic, which of course this episode is the 30th anniversary of Star Fox. And then we'll touch a little bit more on some news, which may also include some Star Fox.
Boo.
And lastly, we'll answer your questions from Discord.
Good luck.
Alex, hi, I'm Ray. How would you explain our show, No More Whoppers?
Are you a nerd having trouble transitioning from your 20s to 30s to 40s and beyond? Age with us, not at us.
I'm already gray.
Are you tired of the man keeping you down? If you see something, say something. Do you enjoy the family computer? Capsule computing. We got them all. No more Whoppers. We outlived the queen. She said it couldn't be done.
No, I'm fading.
Come back. I can't do this alone. Do you enjoy number munchers? And is numbers what you call
Then listen to No More Whoppers.
only on the Tokyo Beat Network?
And now it's time for the weekly topic, which of course is Star Fox. But I wanted to try to do something a little bit different. Because, I mean, you've now talked about Star Fox for 30 years. You've done countless interviews, a few documentaries, and that legendary Reddit AMA.
Legendary.
Go look it
Legendary.
up. Legendary.
Yeah.
What are some things that you've learned about it, like, well after release? Like, is there anything that you're surprised that, like, people have been like, oh my God, I loved this thing. And you're like, what?
Yeah. It's just the fact that people still know what game it is.
Mm-hmm.
After all, 30 more years, isn't it?
30, not 30 more.
No, say 31, 32.
This is the 30th anniversary.
Oh, that's true. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, when we started making it, it was like, 32, whatever. So it just feels really old to me.
I mean, it is pretty old.
It's pretty old.
So it's amazing that people still sort of think it's a good game. Because there's so many other games that came after that.
I mean, it was cutting edge then. I mean, it's still a remarkable game now. I mean, like we can look at it and say, oh, that was probably pretty spectacular. I mean, do you still get that?
No.
And I mean, it is quite the catalyst because I mean, Star Fox is an awesome IP that so many people have like resonate with, even if the original one wasn't their first entry to the series.
I think maybe it's that. Maybe it's the fact that it went on to other bigger things, and that's why it's so popular, I guess. Maybe.
Well, I mean, look at Mario. The first Mario, like no one really loves that game, but everyone loves the series.
Fair.
You know, everyone loves Mario 3. Everyone loves, in your case, all the better games like Star Fox 64 and
Star Fox Command.
Star Fox Command. What else did Q Games make? Star Fox. No. But like, if you wouldn't mind, Kinsey, like if you could take us back to when you were 18, 19, and you just got off the boat, right off the boat.
Because planes weren't invented back then.
Star Fox Ellis Island, and like, did you know that it was going to be something special? Because like you didn't know a lot about the Super Nintendo. You didn't know a lot about. You knew nothing about Japan or Nintendo. But like, how far along was it that you knew this was something special? That's what I should say.
Until after it was launched, and then it was then we were told it was like the fastest selling video game ever.
Wow.
Or something like that within like weeks. So it wasn't until then we realized, this might actually be quite a good game.
I know there wasn't the internet as we know it today back then, but like, did your friends from the UK
let
nothing. You know?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Did you have friends? No,
no, but you must have known it was launching in your home country and like.
Because they're all delayed, weren't they? All the releases were always delayed by months or half a year. With different names and everything. So, and there was no internet. The only info you got was via magazines that were always like 2 or 3 months late afterwards. Anyway,
right.
So everything was very much delayed. Really, all the info.
Okay, so you're 18, 19. The game is shipped at this point. When you went back to the UK or Europe, what was it like to see the cartridge in a store?
I don't think I've actually seen a store.
This motherfucker.
I could lie and say it was amazing.
Oh no,
actually,
that's fine. No.
I do remember going back and visiting a friend in a video game store, and this kid came in and said, "I want to take this game back because I don't like it." Turned out it was one of my games.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm trying to think which one it was. Maybe it was like Days of Thunder or something crap like that. But
did you say something?
No, I kept my mouth
You're
shut.
like,
You didn't slap that little bitch? Like, what? You know who I am?
No, maybe my friend did it on purpose. Maybe I've never thought about that. Maybe he did.
Wait, you're saying that your friend went and hired some like 12-year-old?
Yeah, that's the sort of thing he would do.
And still never told you?
And still never told me.
Who's your friend?
That's awesome.
I can't.
Let's name check him.
I can't.
No. We
That
dox
would be
people
awesome.
on this show. All right.
No, I can't.
Well, fuck that guy for hiring a 12-year-old.
No, it's genius.
That is pretty good.
I'm for
genius.
this.
Yeah. So I mean, you're not exactly like a nostalgic person anyway. Like,
No, I'm always looking. I hate going back and looking at old stuff because I only see the flaws in stuff. Like everything, if you release something, it's always released in a state that it's not finished, isn't it?
Well, I guess that leads to my next question. What was not finished to you?
Everything could have been tweaked forever, basically, because that's what you've been doing for like 2 years.
Okay, without saying like like the physics or like some finer detail, like what would you have wanted to make this like from Star Fox to Star Fox 1.5? The
Frame rate. Improves the frame rate. I mean, just seeing some of the mods that people have made to Star Fox to make it faster or this and that. It's like 60 hertz using the same hardware, but 60 hertz, whatever.
Right.
That's kind of mind blowing. The fact that using the same hardware, just different software, they can do that. So we could have gone back and optimized it and made it faster.
I think that actually leads into Kinsey's question.
Yeah. So knowing what you know now and like all your history of making games, if you could make a new Super Nintendo game, so on Super Nintendo hardware, like knowing what you know now, how would you try to push the limits of the Super Nintendo?
Good question. I would go and hire all those people that are really, really, really good at optimizing it because they've spent so much time going through emulators, figuring out what makes the hardware tick. They kind of know it inside out much more than we did, because we only saw the surface. We couldn't get the inside the thing. So they know a lot more about the hardware than we did. So I'd hire them.
Yeah.
Fans, hit us up. Once we get money to make a Star Fox 1.5,
You're hired.
You're hired. No, but like what? Like how would you have liked to like beyond the frame rate, beyond like what would you have liked Fox to have accomplished or whatever? Like throughout the game, like would you have liked him to fly through the rings of Saturn, or like what were some of those dreams that you thought about?
I
don't you dare say you don't even care about this game. Don't you dare.
I haven't thought about that.
Ever. But
It's
you just said earlier, you just said like when you see your game, you think about all the flaws and like
but
how
that's,
you want to improve.
that's flaws of stuff that needs to be fixed, not things that I think we could have done with the game. You know what I mean?
No, but you do like even so we work with you. You see something in our games and you'll say, it'd be fun if
this and that.
And then you apply this one thing like you've done it with Carve every step of the way.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're saying that, I mean, it's pretty much how we intended it. We didn't really want to add anything more. We just wanted to make it better, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's the perfect, it's a bit like 1080. We didn't need to add any more. It was like kind of the perfect size, the perfect amount of courses and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, let's circle back to Kinsey's initial question. All right, you're getting the team together. How would you like to see Star Fox 1.5, knowing everything you know now, with all the limit breaking abilities?
I would. I mean, this is a bit bland, but I would redo it. But just make all the bits that I think could be better just better.
Okay.
I'd literally redo it, as the same movement, same kind of mechanics and all that kind of stuff, but just fix all the bits.
Got it.
Because there's a lot of bits that people don't realize are buggy or could be better and stuff like that.
Like when you watch people do playthroughs, do you have moments where you're like, ooh?
Yeah.
Like they get to a
It's
spot
like,
and you're
when you have a playthrough and the guys or the person's just sort of all the way to the right and he's just firing smart bombs, not interacting with the game at all.
Oh,
have you seen those?
Yeah, like in the speed runs.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bug.
Essentially, yeah.
So, fix things like that.
Not letting people speed run is what you're saying?
No. Yeah, let people speed run, but not let them just sort of
exploit the shit
exploit the speed running. Yeah,
I see. What about like from a character lineup? Was there a character that you would have liked to what's the word? Expunge from the record? Like get rid of Slippy for being a dipshit, or like.
Oh, I like Slippy.
Yeah, everybody loves Slippy.
I don't really care, but
yeah.
Some of the enemies annoy me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the enemies that are flying around buzzing you, or what do you
yeah, I know. I think Andros annoys me.
I mean, he's just a big face, right?
You made Andros.
What a big
Yeah, I know. I did. Yeah.
And just the other day, I heard on an interview you said that's one of your favorite parts because you made it.
Yeah, no, the character Andros. I mean, he's not a very good. He could be a lot more evil, like Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Not a very good evil.
Because he is
person.
Darth Vader in essence. But
yeah. But he could be more evil. He was a bit kind of lame, of a lame evil.
What about your headmaster, the dog?
What dog?
I don't know.
Colonel Pepper?
Pepper.
Pepper?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
Fucking, you're hitting all the fucking cylinders here today, dude.
Well, what kind of question is that? What's up with that? What am I supposed to say?
Oh, dude, you're a handful. That's all I got to say. So like you've got the team together. You're making the same game, but like a little smoothed out.
Yeah. Still on a SNES, are we?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
why though? Why would we do that?
Because I think you've said it in the past, but like people want the OG style.
Couldn't they have the OG style on modern hardware?
Yeah, of course, bro. Like you can use Unity or Unreal, I don't care, but like as long as it has that same feel,
yeah,
the same tactile thing,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I'd bother with a SNES.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just too much hassle because nobody has SNESes, do they?
Not really.
A little too limiting.
Yeah, and there's emulators are kind of a bit lame to set up.
Right. Of course.
Playdate. Do it on Playdate.
Do it on the Playdate.
Yeah.
Hey, Panic Incorporated out of Portland, Oregon. We're going to be making.
Star Fox on the Playdate.
It's called Kitsune.
Or something like that.
Or something like that because we can't legally use.
Crank that Kitsune.
Crank that. Dude.
Cranky Kitsune.
Yeah, man. Like you have shown that demo. It's like not a demo. What would you call that? A proof of concept. Prototype. You've shown that off for the Playdate. Like how would you like to expand on that? Because right now it's like wireframe. It's
Yeah, I mean that wasn't supposed to be a Star Fox clone. That was supposed to be a rhythm game.
Right.
Oddly enough, but I don't think I don't know whether it fits the Playdate. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. The scale is kind of different, isn't it? The scale of the game.
Yeah, sure. Well, currently your R-wing type vehicle is fairly large, and it like eats a lot of screen real estate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's the way the Star Fox supposed to feel. It wasn't supposed to be small. It was supposed to be kind of not intimidating, but you feel safe or whatever.
Actually, one of the questions I got with an interview the other day was apparently everybody congratulated me on the camera movements inside Nintendo. They said it was all really cool, whatever. But there was a lot of time when we had no idea how the camera should move, whether it should be the FOV should be the wide or thin or sort of close to the player, whatever. So it was just trial and error of just seeing what was right. It's not like we have some magic formula.
That's I hadn't actually considered that because there was no standard.
No,
right. Even Wolfenstein had only been out for like a year or two, and the FOV on that wasn't standardized.
And it changes everything. It changes the feel, the speed of the ship, the feel of the game, just by changing that one value. So, and you have to get it. You can't change it mid play, and you have to get it right. Otherwise, everything feels off.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to change it later on, you're kind of fucked because everything's set to
Rooted
match that. Yeah.
So, like right now, like the vehicle isn't that large, so it gives you, but it does give you a sense that there's weight to it. And I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong here, like if the vehicle is bigger, the exact same specs but just bigger, would it feel really slow?
It would feel the opposite. It would feel artificially too fast because when an object's beat, you expect it to move slow, but if it's moving fast, it would feel like it wasn't realistic enough. Not that it's realistic.
Sort of like tensile strength, but like
when you see a film that's badly animated and they've got a monster that's really big, but it's running on tiptoes around. Right. It makes it look ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because you're not used to that kind of that sort of size thing moving like that. So that's the reason the R-wing is that size, because that's the maximum size you can get and still have it nimble. I reckon that's my opinion at least.
I guess that makes sense. I don't know enough about video games, but that does seem.
You know enough about films though, don't you? You know when something feels off.
Yeah, absolutely. No. I mean, when something is like larger than our senses have allowed, like, and if it's moving too quickly, it doesn't like.
It's like the uncanny valley.
Mm-hmm.
We're really sensitive to that because that's what we do every day, all day long, is look at people's faces. It's the same with looking at the way people walk and stuff like that. We're really sensitive to that.
Sure. Like when we see Godzilla, like he has to be lumbering. Like if he was fast, that would really
be weird.
That'd upset us almost.
Yeah.
Like it just feel so unnatural.
And it's not like it's a rule book. It's just the feeding. So you're programming it. Miyamoto sitting next to me saying or a bit more like this and that kind of thing. It's just continuous iteration, and it's just the feeding kind of thing. There's no rule book or anything like that.
You bring up Miyamoto. So I've heard in other interviews, like on the Netflix documentary,
High Score.
On that documentary, both you and Dylan Cuthbert say that Miyamoto and the rest of them would smoke around you all the time. You were a smoker.
I smoked. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
like you were like blowing smoke right into Dylan's face and like all. And
Krista smoked.
Yeah.
Imamura smoked.
Yeah.
Most of the team smoked apart from Dylan. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, dude! That's pretty cool. Do you miss those days of like just filled ashtrays? Like it's kind of.
I kind of do actually.
Yeah.
I kind of do because it's It's cool programming and smoking at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't do that, kids.
But no, but it's gotta be right. It's gotta be kind of fun.
Because you got cigarette hanging out your mouth,
Yeah.
and you're just going
Right.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's dripping, because you can't be bothered to get it out.
Occasionally ash
It's
falls
just dripping.
down.
It's dripping onto the keyboard. Can't be bothered to get it out, so you tip it upside down and bang it out.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great.
That's super
great
fun. Like what?
Paints quite the picture. I love it.
Yeah, I can imagine. How many cigs were you smoking at the office?
Oh, way too much.
Oh, that's so pleasurable.
At least 20
A day?
a
That's
day.
my dude.
Damn.
And were there?
But I think Miyamoto, he used to smoke the really heavy 7 stars, which are those really gnarly Ostan.
those are like the old guy grandpa cigarettes
Yeah.
that are like Marlboro Reds for grandpas.
Yeah.
I mean,
And next up on the cigarette podcast.
would you guys booze too? At the
No,
office?
no boozing.
Mm-mm.
You know, in the UK, we go out to the pub for lunch and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh, can't do that in Japan. That's a big no.
But you're a like famous drinker.
Not during the day.
Mm,
I'm not famous for drinking during the day. Maybe at the after a cocktail at 5:30,
sure. All right, let's go with it.
gin tonic at 6 o'clock. That kind of thing.
Yeah. But that's a no-fly zone over at Nintendo. No.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. What about the silly jumpsuits? And the green jackets at Nintendo. Like the jackets that everybody.
Oh, you mean the blue and you had 2 choices, blue or cream.
Okay.
I always went with the cream.
Oh, you had
beige.
to wear it. You wore one.
No, you didn't have to wear it. It was just easier because if you had a meeting with a client or whatever, if you went outside or something, you had to have something on. You had to have either a suit or a respectable shirt or that thing.
It's just a uniform.
the jacket. So
Oh.
you just wear any old shit underneath and just zip it up with that, and you could just instantly go anywhere. So it was really convenient.
Is that why people wear them?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Instead, so they don't have to wear a nice
A tie and all that kind of crap. Yeah.
That's
And you have 2. One's always in the wash kind of thing, or one's always ready. So they're great.
Do you still have yours?
No, I think I just threw it away.
Nostalgic.
All the
Nostalgia.
collectors' hearts just broke.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I used to cycle into work, so you get really, really sweaty.
Right.
So I just used to sort of come in. Literally, I'd come in with in the summer, a swimsuit and a t-shirt, and just
Hit the showers? What?
No, there's no showers.
Yeah, of course. It's naked as hell under there, boy.
A bit like
That's
how
why
I am
you
now.
Threw it away.
A bit like how I am now.
surprise.
I got a silly dumb question.
Another one.
Yeah. Well, why don't you ease up there? Have you ever considered getting a Star Fox tattoo if I paid for it?
Ah, that's a good
If
one.
I paid for it.
Where?
Here at the office.
No, where?
On your right ass cheek. Your right no one would see it except for the DMs.
I'll think about that.
You think about it?
Yeah.
Because I'll pay somebody for next Friday to come.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I will do it. I absolutely will do it. And we will have your ass tattooed on that
On
bar right
video.
over there.
On video.
Yeah,
next
of course.
next episode.
You into it?
I'll think about it.
All right.
Maybe we could vote for it.
Ooh, comment down below if you think Giles should get a Star Fox tattoo on his ass.
And which arse cheek?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
true. We need
okay.
that vote. It's very important. Do you Care Bears it or
all right,
not?
How many likes do we need on a tweet to make that happen? Listeners will have seen your ass cheek by now if this goes through.
Yeah.
At least 10.
All right. If
10?
If we get
Just say you want the tattoo.
I don't know what's an average tweet these days. You youngins.
yeah, 10. It's 10.
It's
10. But what are we getting anyway? Andross's face right next to your ass.
Well, like an ass wing.
Oh, the ass wing.
Of course, the classic.
Hello, it's me, Dan Gorman, one of your trusty Chuhai Labs mods, here again to tell you to play this shit. Today I'm talking about Rebel Galaxy from Double Damage Games, which came out back in 2015. Space exploration games can be daunting a lot of the time, but Rebel Galaxy found a great balance. It gives you a ton of activities to do, a sprawling galaxy. It starts you out in a rusty old ship, and where you go from there is mostly up to you. You can find missions at a local bar, hire mercenaries, you can go rustle up scrap to sell on the open market, all while partaking in broadside-style combat that controls almost like a sea battle in space. You can buy new ships, upgrade yourself with new weapons, armor, and more. And I'll tell you, I played a crap load of this game when I purchased it on the PS4 back in 2015. I'd turn off the admittedly pretty good in-game soundtrack and just cruise around in space to my own Spotify playlists on PS4, and it was amazing. I would just zone out for hours and hours, hyper spacing around. So whether you're a fan of vintage exploration space games or not, you can get Rebel Galaxy on sale for pretty cheap these days. For pennies, it's got a ton of content there. It's worth it, especially on sale. Double Damage made a sequel in 2020, which is also worth your time, but it lost a bit of the magic. It's a first-person kind of view in the cockpit, not the sea battle style that makes this game so intriguing. But as always, my name is Dan Gorman. I'm telling you to check out this game, Rebel Galaxy. Check out the Chuhai Labs Discord, and remember to play good games.
And now it's time for the news! And we got several news stories. And most of them are even Star Fox themed. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's kind of lucky, actually, that there's Star Fox news when we're doing Star Fox 30th
I mean, you'll see. One's like
anniversary.
real old. But
The old.
it's cool.
Hell yeah. What do we got?
First up, earlier this month, Did You Know Gaming did a deep dive into the Star Fox game that almost was. They interviewed ex-Retro Studios artist Eric Kozlowski, and apparently, after Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, they pitched a Star Fox game that picked up right at the end of Star Fox 64.
A good one. Oh.
This would have been Star Fox Armada on the Wii U, an open-world game with multiplayer that would have featured the puppet art style from the early Super Nintendo promo material. Remember those puppets? They're like scary, but not scary at the same time.
That was the era. They made puppets for stunt race effects.
Oh
as
yeah.
well. It was. I found them really creepy, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they're stunning.
I mean, they're stunning, but Thunderbirds and stuff like that. There's a weird creepiness to them.
Okay.
There is a weird creepiness to them.
Yes. But Thunderbirds is that's a bad example because their faces are so fucking
And,
weird. But,
they're not blinking, and their faces are fixed.
No, they blink, but they're very slow.
Ew. It's like Chuck E. Cheese, like animatronic
One
type
blinks
thing.
one eye blinks at a time. Really.
But a whole game of the puppet. It'd be kind of cool,
That'd be
especially
awesome.
like later on the Wii U. Like they're not going to be the creepy ones they were in 1993 or whatever.
Giles, how could you assemble a game like that?
I was just thinking, how would they have done that on a Wii U?
Would it be stop motion or would it be like
Like CG.
Well, they do. I mean, that's the art style. That's all. That's all it says, isn't it? Is that what it said in the article? I think they just go with normal 3D, but just have that kind of look in the textures and the coloring and that kind of thing. I don't think you could do a stop motion like that.
No, especially can you open world? And they in this video they compared it a lot to Mass Effect. So being able to walk around inside the ship as kind of an interactive menu, flying the ship and then going down to the planets. And that would be so difficult with stop motion because there'd be so much going on. But it'd be really cool.
You could do some kind of hybrid thing where it's you animate it, whatever normal 60 frames, but you only show every 10 frames.
Oh, to give it the feel.
Yeah.
It's like
Because
doing
stop
that.
motion is typically 14 frames.
14 frames,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That's pretty interesting. Look, Kinsey, you read a lot more about this. Armada itself was a 4-player game, or how did that work?
Yeah, they named it Armada because it was going to be like a multiplayer game where you could have your squad and either you could make your own anthropomorphic animal character or you could play as Fox or Peppy or Slippy or Falco. And you could make your own group of friends that you can go around and like fucking save the universe, I guess.
Were there any multiplayer Wii U games? I can't remember any.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of multiplayer Wii U games, but I don't think anything quite like this kind of thing where you would like, team up like squad style. There was a few.
It would have been really cool, actually, wouldn't it?
It would have been really cool. Yeah.
I love the idea of a squad. Like I like the idea of like a heavy bomber and a you each have a slightly different role.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot, and I also like the idea that like I don't know, one person would go through the back, whatever. Like something about that seems like that. Like Star Fox was always missing that.
Yeah.
Obviously, because that takes a lot of time.
Maybe Retro should apply,
this.
resubmit it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It does sound really fucking amazing.
Right? Like Star Fox Mass Effect? This sounds right up my alley. It sounds great.
Yeah. A dark, sort of slightly dark Star Fox would be quite cool. Wouldn't it?
Oh, that would be really
Dark
cool.
Fox.
And then you'd get your more evil Andros.
Yeah. He could be really evil, couldn't he?
And next up, we have the old news, but stick with me. About a year ago, rumors of a new Star Fox game for the Switch started swirling due to a leak from an insider saying a new Star Fox game has been in development for quite a while, and it's being made at an outside studio with close supervision by Nintendo. The thing is, I haven't yet been able to track down who's developing it. So this insider says, it's been a while since these rumors surfaced. Do we think this is still happening? And what would we like to see in a new Star Fox game? I mean, for me, the last story kind of says it. But
Are they talking about our Star Fox game we were making upstairs?
Were they? Giles, are you the industry insider from a year ago?
No. That was well done. That was well done. This little shitbird over here. Like, no, they're not.
You didn't know about that?
No, I didn't know about that one. No, they're not talking about that. But yeah, that is curious. I
do remember that. I do remember reading that and thinking, I bet it's maybe it's Q or 70-bit or something like that.
Yeah,
somebody local.
Q games there.
Or Platinum.
Well,
they ruled out Platinum in the article. They were like, it's not Platinum.
Because they did Zero, didn't they?
Yeah, they did,
yeah.
I don't know. It'd be weird to have a third party do the Star Fox game now, I think. At least.
So what would you like to see in a new Star Fox game? I mean, so you want to do the Armada. I want to see like pretty large space battles. I think that's always been I know it's an arcadey game, but I've always wanted to fly around a Death Star like thing, or or do like strafing missions.
Yeah.
I've also wanted to have like different classes of vehicle, like I said, a bomber or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to do like be in a turret or something like that.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'd do. Also, big multiplayer.
Yeah.
Flying with your squadron. You make a squadron and you fly around together and stuff like that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be super cool. And I think whatever they do, if this is real, if it's not real, like it'd be cool if just another Star Fox game. It's been a while, like something big, I think, needs to breathe new life into the series.
I'm gonna do a prediction. So I don't know how copyright works in Japan. I don't know like the length of time that, but I'm gonna assume that it's like every 20 years. So I think there's gonna be a game in the next 3 years, 5 years, because
to keep
the copyright going, not because they actually care. I'm gonna be a little cynical here, and like because they have to at some point do something with it. Can't, right? Don't they?
Tell that to F-Zero.
Yeah.
Good point.
But I mean, does having them in Smash Brothers keep that copyright up?
Maybe
that's why they do have them in Smash Brothers.
Maybe that actually keeps everything going.
They're like, surprise, this unknown character is now in Smash Brothers. It's just to renew the copyright.
Right.
That would explain a few things, wouldn't it? Why they put every single character they've ever made into Smash
Maybe
Brothers.
that is, yeah, okay. Because like with films or whatever, like the reason there's a Spider-Man every few years is because they're like they have to, or they lose contracts or they lose whatever deals that they've signed. But that's not necessarily copyright. But
this is slightly unrelated, but when we finished Star Fox, so going back to Star Fox, we finished Star Fox, we printed all the code out in a big stack of papers, and they took the first page and the last page took them away and they took them to lawyers and they copyrighted or they trademarked those 2 pages.
Wow.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Because that represents the source code. And it would be stupid to copyright every single page. So they only took the top and the bottom. So I wonder if they do a similar thing with they put one character from each game into Smash Brothers so that they can say, all right, this is used in the game kind of thing.
Okay, so hear me out. So that makes sense. You're saying there's 700 pages and they use the first and the last page, right?
Mm-hmm.
To represent what's in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, can you take the first and the last page and throw them away and take all the rest of the code?
And still have a game?
Yeah.
And now it's called, like
If it's
Far Socks.
Far Socks.
Like,
yeah. Is you saying that's what we should do?
I'm saying that's what we should do. Because, like, the rest in the middle, that's just represented. We don't know what's in the middle of those 700 pages, 600
But also,
pages.
I like my legs as they are. I'd rather not have them kneecapped. And
Are you saying that, like, some goon from Nintendo, like, goon here.
I'm saying that, accidents happen.
Yeah. Fall down some stairs by a truck.
And hanged himself accidentally.
Yeah.
And our next news story.
That went dark pretty quickly, didn't it?
Not Star Fox. Sorry, everybody. But we had some breaking news this morning.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. We've talked a lot about video game movies and TV series on the show, so what's another?
Yeah.
Apple TV just dropped a trailer for their new film, Tetris. You may have heard of it. Everyone knows this game, and it was, and still kind of is, an internet sensation. But did you know there's an absolutely wild story about how Hank Rogers brought the game out of the USSR to share with the rest of the world? Like, this trailer...
I did know that.
Yeah, like...
Yes, I did, yeah.
As a matter of fact. Giles, did you get a chance to see it? The trailer?
The trailer? Not yet, no. I didn't know it was out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We were all surprised by it. Like,
Yeah.
it just kind of, like, popped up on IGN. Like, I guess that's where it got announced today. It looks like a fun biopic.
Yeah.
It's made by Apple, is it?
Apple.
Yeah, it's going to be on Apple TV.
Giles, are you familiar with the Hank Rogers story?
I am actually, yeah, because that was when I was at Nintendo kind of thing.
Did you know Hank?
No, I met him a few times,
Yeah?
I think. Yeah.
Can you invite him to our Star Fox party?
I think he's probably not in the country.
Oh, okay.
But when you got Tetris money, you can be in the country.
I don't know who...
He owns it.
Well, still, 100%.
Well, him and Alexi, they
okay.
they own the whole thing. It's like a it's like a holding company at this point.
Yeah, I think his daughter is technically CEO of Tetris now.
Yeah.
That's a cool title, though.
Yeah.
I am CEO of Tetris.
Imagine your business card. You could do all sorts of stuff with that.
And they're based in Hawaii, which is a 7-hour flight from here.
Oh.
And we could go and visit and say, "What's up, Hank? Remember this guy?" And he'll say, "Absolutely not."
Get out of my house.
Yeah. Who are you? Get out of my house.
Just stop coming around here and go home.
Yeah. Do you have any do you go out to dinner with old Hank Rogers?
No.
Okay, tight.
I think he ignored me when I said hi.
Oh yeah, like
even better.
Big time to you, straight up. Like,
snubbed
who
by.
the fuck is that? Some British scoundrel.
He
Fuck
said,
that guy.
Do you know who I am?
He flips the table.
But anyway, so that movie looks fun.
It does look pretty fun. Yeah, I like. I think your story is cool.
Yeah,
like coming over to Japan.
But his is better.
Dude, come on. That's a rock and roll ass story. Homeboy goes to Moscow. Like, I don't know, the whole thing.
Is that how it works, though?
What do you
You go and, you rescue a game from Moscow and you bring it out to Nintendo. And...
The rescuing, you wanted money.
Yeah.
You rescued money.
But,
What do you mean, is that how it works?
it just seems a bit far-fetched.
You think the real life story... And done.
I'll watch the movie first to see if I believe it.
All right.
I do like in the trailer, there's a part where there's like a scientist and they have like a sheet over something. And he's like, no, only 5 people on the planet has seen this. And he lifts it up. He goes, it's a Game Boy.
Oh.
And then he goes, bundle it with Tetris.
Ship it.
It's a really great part of the trailer.
So I didn't watch the trailer with sound. Do the Russian guys have like we must go to Japan?
Wait, you didn't watch that trailer with sound?
No,
it is bumping.
It looks so stupid.
It has like the Tetris music, and then it has like Final Countdown over the top of it and like a backing beat. He was watching me watch the trailer this morning, and I was like,
she was dancing,
and he was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Are you watching a trailer?" And what? And I'm like, "Nah, man, this is bumping."
Yeah, she did say bumping several times. The Final Countdown.
So who's in it? Who's playing Mr. Tetris?
Mr. Tetris.
That's a really good question.
Prince Tetris, whatever.
Prince Tetris.
Whatever character was in the game.
Find out more on
who's playing the square.
Oh, I see. I don't know.
And now we're back with Call Me Up, where we answer your Discord questions. If you ever want to ask us a question, go to the Chew High Labs Discord, scroll down, call me up, and write it there. Right?
Yeah,
those are easy to follow instructions.
But they're already there.
Well, now they're here.
Well, that was time travel.
How does that work?
Hey, if you want to ask us questions for this, you should have
too
done
late.
it 2 weeks ago. Dude.
Okay.
So questions.
Yes.
Our first question is from Okie Panic. And pretty much all these are for you, by the way. Just checking. Yeah.
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
For you.
Oh, okay.
The man of the hour.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. Our first question is from Okie Panic. And this is kind of general, but I'd love to hear about how Giles grew to love Ishigaki in Okinawa and how living there part of the year informs your games.
Good question, though.
Oh, okay.
It's a really good question.
I think we should lay the groundwork a little bit from our perspective, not from yours. Giles lives on an island most of the year. That's not true.
Half time.
Yeah, half the time he's off on the second furthest island from mainland Japan. And how did this all start?
I just went there 20 years ago for a holiday. Loved the place and just went there more and more and more. And then just realized it was a place that I wanted to be. Very simple. It's a beautiful place, beautiful island. Beaches are amazing. The surfing's great. The surf,
you surf and
snorkeling
fish all the time, right?
Yeah. Snorkeling, diving, anything like that.
He has. You have taken not business calls, but company meetings from your boat one time.
I did do that, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Boat as in kayak.
As in your kayak, not like
Not your yacht.
Not like a
your
yacht.
out there, like your 30-foot yacht or however big they are.
That's for other meetings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but how does it inform like your game development and?
Well, there's a lot of water in our games, isn't there? Usually.
Nice.
Which is.
I was like, carve snowboarding. Snow!
On a tropical island. I'm not sure it informs the games, but it's good to get out of Kyoto and out of the cities to reset your head sometimes.
I'm gonna put some words in your mouth and you tell me you just fix it, okay? Giles, we've said it a couple times. You like alone time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I feel like that's probably super beneficial for you. Like,
yeah.
Even when he's here at the office, he's got the biggest headphones on possible, and he does not want to talk to you. But it's true. But that must really, really clear your head and be.
Yeah. You're either going to be that type or the opposite. Like I know, like Jake, 70-bit. Who needs to be surrounded by people to stay alive. Right. I'm kind of the opposite of that. So yeah, I don't know. It's good to get out there and get away from things.
Yeah,
highly recommend it.
I think for Okie Panic, I am going to say I think it actually does inform a lot of his game development.
But I don't know. It subconsciously maybe it does a lot.
I think it absolutely does. Considering I don't know, we made a surfing game, so whatever.
The other thing I do is walk around the mountains sometimes. Weekend we'll take a long lunch, whatever, and just think through a problem to try and get it sorted out. A lot of programming is thinking about problems and how to fix them. So that's a great way of doing it.
Awesome. I really like that question.
Yeah.
And next up, we have a question from Dan Armad, who you just heard from and play this shit.
Dan.
I'd love to hear any stories about the early days in the demo scene or Argonaut software. What was it about trying to create works in 3D that captured their imagination and ultimately drove them to working in games?
Yeah, that's another good question, because when there's no 3D, when 3D isn't like the normal thing, and you manage to get from scratch, you manage to get a rotating wireframe cube on the screen on your whatever, a Spectrum or Amiga or whatever. There's something really weirdly empowering, it feels, about doing that. It's like I don't know, carving or something like that. You're creating something out of nothing, and it's almost spooky sometimes how realistic it looks, even though it's just a wireframe cube. It's come from nothing, but it looks real. I think it's always yearning for that kind of thing again, and I think that's why we ended up going in that direction with all the stuff after.
How deep were you into the demo scene?
Pretty deep. I mean, I knew all the coders, all the groups, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean,
do you still have some of your old demo stuff?
Yeah, probably somewhere on discs or something, on Amiga discs.
You know how cool that would be if we could just pull those out. Like, what kind of stuff were you working on? You think like mostly like color-based stuff or 3D stuff? Like, what was the?
Well, you know what the demos. The reason for the demos was they put them on the front of hacked games to sort of as a graffiti.
Right. To be like, I'm the one that cracked this.
Yeah, like an ID or whatever, saying, this is our game, this is our cracked game.
Right.
Like a splash screen.
Splash screen on top of this before the splash screen. So it just came from there originally, and they just started making better and better intros, and sometimes the intros were better than the game. So they sort of say, well, let's just make intros and forget about the games. I think.
Oh, like what was your thing?
What was my thing? Yeah. I think it was usually 3D. Usually anything involved with 3D, I'd get in there. I think my first thing was maybe a Starfield or something like that. Ironically, what is probably behind us.
Oh yeah.
Tell them how I made that.
Oh yeah. So for listeners and for viewers too, but behind us, we're sitting on a green screen right now, and just the other day I asked Giles to make a fake star pattern, like you're flying through space, like from Star Fox, and I said, hey, is this easy? And he's like, yeah, well, we'll see. And he comes back 3 minutes later with the file, and he's like, oh, it's done already. I was immediately impressed. Like, wow.
So that's great, Giles.
Like, wow,
you must be a genius.
You're a fucking genius. And then he's like, oh, I use ChatGPT. And
I literally just typed in, write a Starfield in 3D, please. I think I put please at the end.
Oh, that's so nice.
Because it I know it works hard. You need to say thanks. I asked it if it likes being thanked, and it said, yeah, I do.
AI made what you're seeing behind us. So yeah, I mean, that is pretty cool.
And then you said it was too fast. I said, can you do that again, but slow it down a bit?
Did you really?
Yeah.
That was all you said?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The future, kids.
So next up, we have a question from Steven. I like how you put your name in the Giles.
Giles.
Yeah,
Giles? Giles?
What's the best piece of advice or instruction that Miyamoto gave you? Also, what's the worst advice he gave you?
Oh, can't say that. What's the best?
I
don't think it's one piece, but it's the relentless tweaking and the sort of search for perfection that he always had, that it could always be slightly better, a little bit better. You never sort of be happy with just making it and then leaving it. You always got to make sure it's the best possible thing you can make. I guess that's the best. Not a piece of advice, but that's what I got out of him.
He instilled in you?
Yeah. What? Yeah. Scolded me.
Yeah, he just scolded you. No, he instilled into you.
Oh, instilled into me. Yeah. Stand behind us.
Make it the best.
Make it better. What's the worst advice? Stop smoking. That's what he told me one day.
That was the worst advice he gave.
Did he have a cigarette in his hand when he told you to stop smoking?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Or something like that.
Hey, you should quit smoking.
No, I don't think he ever gave any worse advice at all. There were actually, but he didn't do that. But he used to do this thing where, he'd ask you to do something, make something that you wouldn't know where the end was going to be. So you'd think, well, why the hell am I making this? This is completely wrong. And then you'd end up aiming, going to where he wanted to be, but you'd never know where that was at the start.
Ooh.
So that's quite cool.
It's a challenge.
Oh, he was tricking you into...
No, he didn't know where it was supposed to be, but he would always... The end would always be different from the start direction, if you know what I mean.
Got it.
If that makes any sense. He had a very good talent, a very good knack of molding things into the direction it should go, even though the start was completely different.
Right.
Next question is, what is your favorite drink, and why is it drinking Campari straight from the bottle at room temperature?
Is that because it's on the back of the thing on all the videos?
Yes. I mean, you are a Campari fan. Well,
I used to be. I used to drink Negronis because of you.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a Negroni was, and then you told me, and I couldn't stop drinking them. It's not Campari. It's probably gin tonic or Odeon beer. There you go.
You do like Orion. Odeon.
Yeah.
And finally, I guess you kind of have already answered this during this podcast, but finally, if you were tasked with re-releasing the original Star Fox again, what would you change? The frame rate, right?
Did you just add that question?
Yeah.
I think she just added
Yeah,
it.
like literally right now, she's like, let's just drag this out a little
And
bit
he
more.
just ran out of questions. Half of these are just made up. No, the frame rate was fine.
How about this?
No.
Right? No.
No, yeah, I'd fix the frame rate. I think I already answered this, didn't we?
You change the credits to make it only say your name over and over and over.
Yeah, I'd take everybody out of the
Yeah.
credits, just leave me.
Yeah.
And it's
Ja-
like really big and flashy.
And at the start, we'd say Giles Goddard presents Star
Yeah.
Fox. A Giles
Giles
Goddard
Goddard
game.
production. Starring Giles Goddard as Giles Goddard.
Yeah, and then thanks Nintendo or something like that. Wouldn't it? Yeah, I'd use all the techniques to speed it up. All the new techniques that have been discovered since it was released.
All those people that we hired on the previous game, you'd bring them back to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through a
Yeah.
time machine.
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's all the time we have for today's episode. Huge thanks to Giles for joining us.
No.
You're welcome.
Where can people find you on the internet?
On the internet. Oh,
Yes. At Twitter.
Twitter.
At Twitter.
I'm just trying to think. Twitter, isn't it? It's Giles at Twitter. No, at Twitter. No, at Giles.
Yeah,
At Giles.
at Twitter Giles. Go-
It's twittergiles.com. Just my name on Twitter. I don't tweet much, but you can find me there.
At just my name on
Just my
Twitter.
name on Twitter.
At
Or,
Giles.
or Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, hop on into the Chew High
Send him
Discord.
some weird DMs. You know what I mean? Slide in those DMs.
And as always, you can buy Carve Snowboarding right now on the Oculus Quest, Halloween Forever on the Switch eShop, and you can buy Curse to Golf on pretty much all the platforms.
Hell yeah.
Mark Lentz, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter.com/TheHenryDemos. Kinsey Burke, where can people find you?
You can find me at Kinzilla, Kinszilla. I almost fucked that up. Damn. On pretty much everything, but mostly Twitter. And you can find Chew High Labs at Chew High Labs on all the things. And as always, huge thank you to Tokyo Beat. Thank you all for listening. You are legally the best, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.